Y'all's order. I'm gonna call to order Board of Commissioners Tuesday, October 1st meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the excuse Justin Lovin?
Yes, we are excusing Commissioner Lovin tonight. He just welcomed his first child, so we're all really excited for him, and they haven't made it home yet. So congratulations to him and his family, but he is excused.
Justin's wife just had a baby, so he's not gonna be here.
We're excusing Commissioner Lovin. We have a motion, have a second? Second by Commissioner Sherwood. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Can I have everybody please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome everybody. I want to say my heart goes out to the western part of North Carolina. Everything that's been described up there, we got some relatives that live that way too. It's a trend in the mountains, and they're really have it rough up there. So my heart goes out to them, and the prayers go to them. As everybody knows, we've had a devastating storm came this way. They were calling for 6 to 8 inches of rain, and we wound up getting around 22 inches of rain. So it really devastated our community and city again, and people have been struggling, and I know what it feels like. It was like a river running through my yard, but it was a lot of water, Can I get approval of the regular agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sherwood, have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Public comments. Russell Miller. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. God bless this nation. My name is Russell Miller. I live at 901 Gulfview Road, 28461 in the Highlands development of Bowling Spring Lakes. Gulfview Road contains the first 26 homes that were built in the community. The roads in the development run parallel to Route 87. The roads slope down from 50 Lakes Drive towards the golf course, ending at Fox Squirrel Road. The elevation starts approximately 65 feet above sea level and descends to about 45 feet above sea level. Please refer to permit number SW8190905, and it states, I'm using layman's terms, and I have a copy here if anybody wants to flip through it. A series of stormwater ditches are to be placed strategically through the development. Each house has a front yard ditch as well as a backyard ditch. Each property must have a 15-foot easement from their property line to the storm ditch, and these ditches are to run the entire length of the road and tie in to cross ditches. This ensures that rainwater evacuates efficiently. Using Google Earth, I focused on my home at 901 Gulfview Road. My home is in the middle of the incline, registering about 55 feet above sea level. And that image is from 4/23/23, and it clearly shows the area had very good drainage ditches. It's been over 2 years since the first 26 homes were constructed. I settled October 27th of 22. New construction is now 4 rows deep. It's down to Pine Needles, Westway, and Downing. And these ditches are even more important to be maintained as more construction occurs. And I'm using we. If anybody agrees, raise your hand. We ask the mayor to please come to our neighborhood and witness the reason for the flooding that has occurred at the end of the development. Falling trees, debris, and silting of the storm ditches are the cause of this tragedy. It must not be neglected. The original plan for water evacuation is fine, but the maintenance needs much improving. We're not looking to punish anyone, but we must act very soon to clean up the storm ditches. The residents are willing to help in the cleanup. We just need equipment help and dumpsters. And we request this help arrive soon as possible. The immediate attention must be given to the lower ends of the road. And this is just a footnote. I'm requesting that we have a motion for a cleanup week, clearing the ditches each spring to be proactive in assuring that future stormwater will not flood highlands of Boiling Spring Lakes. While I still have time, I want to tell you that I was a machinist for 42 years, retired out of Baltimore, Maryland, made specific parts for this defensive shield that Iran cannot break through Israel, thank God. And I know the logistics of things. Let's put logistics aside. There are people willing to work hard. I had the church come out to my house. Thank God the water only came that much at my house. We were able to use dehumidifiers and towels. I'm a blessed man. My wife can attest to it. But if maybe we can request a week cleanup. They do it in Wilmington for the beaches, cigarette butts, nastiness gets taken out of there. I think the residents would be willing to help if you can just establish the means for us to do it. So I'm here asking that tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Emily Pete.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Pete, and I live at 920 Westway, also a part of the Highlands. In light of the current flood, though, I think that we all would like to change our name to the Lowlands. I have lived here for about 8 years. I'm familiar with the area. We really thought we got a good home. We've come to a great area. We have this beautiful 2-story home. Our neighbors are wonderful. I love it where I'm at. I have questions about what happened. 10 inches of water were in my home. 12 inches was in my garage. And the story is almost the same for everyone on Westway Road. We did not have flood insurance. We were all told by Logan Homes and by our realtors that we were in Zone X. 1% chance that we could flood and that it's not needed. Don't get it. I thought this was just my story. I didn't know until this occurred that that is everyone's story, with the exception of 2 who had just purchased a few months prior. We have ditches that are supposed to be draining, as the gentleman before said. But when you walk down Westway and you look at the ditches as you're getting to Fox Squirrel, you will see that they get shallower and shallower and shallower. When you get to Fox Squirrel, there is no such drainage. There should be a drainage pipe that goes from Westway underneath Fox Squirrel. We were told by the city manager that we had this drainage that would go from our street out through the golf course and into the lake. That's not what happened. The only way this drained is by flooding. There is no drainage. Since I'm being told that there is, I'm here to ask you, where do the ditches drain to on either side of Westway? Does anyone have an answer?
Why?
Who is responsible for cleaning the debris out from our ditches? Can someone answer that one?
We do not answer the questions in this meeting.
Okay.
Everybody will be taking down his notes and
Okay. We'd also like to know, when was the last time that a perk test was conducted on the Highlands of BSL? So we were all told that we have drainage ditches that would drain, and therefore we didn't need flood insurance, right? We're Zone X, 1% chance. I've been in this home for just over a year. My brand new home is gone. All of my belongings in my downstairs home are gone. My ornaments that my mother, my mother-in-law, and my stepmother-in-law bought for my 4 children so that when they moved out of their home, they could have their own ornaments to decorate their Christmas tree is gone because we have no drainage. That needs to be corrected. You have ruined the lives of so many people. My daughter is 17 years old, and when Logan came and cut open my floor that was turning purple, about less than a month later, she suddenly developed this rare condition, vocal cord dysfunction. My daughter, who I just found out 2 years ago could sing, can't sing anymore. Because anytime she tries, her vocal cord slams shut, she can't speak, and she can't breathe. I had to call 911 out to my home because my daughter turned blue because she couldn't breathe. She fell to the floor unconscious because of vocal cord dysfunction. Since this flood has occurred, she has not been able to be in my home. As soon as the roads were cleared, she was evacuated out to Mallory Creek in Leland, where she has been ever since, because we have no ditches. Vocal cord dysfunction can be brought on by mold. I had a mold test done. We have mold. This flood has brought mold that I am trying to remediate, that I am apparently going to be spending about $19,000 out of pocket to do, let alone put my home back together again. My husband's a retired Marine of 20 years. He served our country. And we are struggling to come up with the funds to put our home back together that flooded because we don't have ditches, because we don't have drainage. Thank you.
Tiffany Brandon.
Tiffany Brandon.
Hello. Okay, my name is Tiffany Braden. I live on Westway as well, 930 right next to Emily. Me and my husband and my family just purchased our first home on Westway a year ago. These homes were built in 2023. We had the hurricane last year where we had concerns of drainage issues, and this was about a month after we had signed our mortgage. We had contacted the city, Logan, and as well as our HOA, and nobody could give us a clear answer as to, whose problem it was for the drainage issues. In that hurricane last year in August, it had flooded halfway to our yards. So as time has passed, we had a couple storms. We still did not get flood insurance. Again, like Emily had said, nobody warned us to be able to get flood insurance. We had no idea about the history of it flooding prior to construction due to Florence. Didn't know it was wetlands, didn't know any of this. So because of this storm, our entire street, as you've heard, has completely lost everything from the floor to up to 4 feet in our homes. All of us have only lived there for a year, if not less. My kids can't come. My daughter can't go to school. My son can't go to school because I have to stay with family. They're staying at family at the bottom of the mountain in Asheville, where we came from. So we would have been there or here. So it's really important that we get this drainage issue fixed, because not only is it happening now, it seems to be happening way before, and it's still not fixed. So I'm not sure how we can get this to move forward and get something going. Talking with the city manager, who had come by 2 days after our street had flooded, and acknowledged that this is a problem. It has been a problem, and it continues to be a problem. So when, why, when are we going to do something about it? We can't keep going like this because we are families, or things need to be told to the new people in the area that, hey, you should probably get flood insurance. Hey, you're built on wetlands. Not after the fact. And again, this is not coming down on you, this is in general. So I do appreciate you listening to us, but just know that this is not it for us. Thank you.
Does everybody in the Highlands have the same flooding issue?
Yes.
Is that what everybody's here to talk about?
Yes.
Can Can I get one person? to
We all have voices. We all have different stories.
What about the evacuation route up 187? That was flooded too.
We have nothing to do with that, ma'am. I'm gonna stick to this. We're gonna stick to order. We're gonna stick to order here.
Everybody's situation is different.
Okay, I just asked a question. We're gonna stick to order here. And we're gonna be nice, we're gonna be kind, and talk to each other. Because nothing gets solved.
Never get an answer. Nothing gets solved, you got that right.
JT Caps.
So, hello, everybody. I do believe that I can speak for everyone and say that we do all have many, many questions. And I know that you said that you are not intending to answer any questions tonight. So that brings me to a simple request that I have. Many of the questions that we have are questions that should be easily answerable through the City of BSL website. However, they are not. And so I would like to request that that information be made more readily available. Information on planning and zoning, approvals of planning and zoning, and building construction and inspections. All these things that have impacted our neighborhood in the Highlands that we largely cannot find the relevant information on the City of BSL website.
Is it Jerry Demora?
Gerald Demora, 941 Westway. I've had two careers. One as a union pipe fitter. There isn't a thing about water I do not know.
Excuse me, could you speak a little bit closer?
Sure thing.
There you go. All right, thank you.
Sorry about that. So I have a question that you can't answer. So I want to ask you, is the planning board or the zoning board able to answer mechanical questions? Or I'm wasting my time. Are they or are they not?
We have staff can answer questions.
Okay. Here's the first one. I moved in here in December. Up until May, it rained 4 or 5 times. I have pictures. My backyard looked like one of the Great Lakes. It took 24 to 36 hours to empty. All Logan kept saying, which was seeded and straw, it's the town's fault. Okay.
Sorry, did you say Logan said it was the town's fault?
Yes. Oh, yes.
She responded.
All right.
100% on.
Hang on, this gets very interesting. Like I said, water, I know. Why then, after May, it rains like hell. I got Lake Erie in my backyard. And in 4 hours, it's gone. Now I'm told somebody opened a pipe. I don't know your town well enough. I just moved there. Where'd the water go? You can't answer that? Somebody's going to answer that question. Where's the water going? And please, don't anybody tell me you got sucked up by pine trees. Don't. I don't understand why my backyard, how this town allowed a home to be built to my drainage ditch in the back of 130 feet from my patio to the top level of the water, which I had shot with a surveyor. 130 feet is 13 inches of pitch for proper drainage. I have 3.8 inches. How is it supposed to drain? Should I build the middle of my property up and flood out my neighbors? How did you allow this? Zoning board? Planning board? How did you allow this to be built?
Yeah.
I'm a union contractor. I built nuclear powerhouses. Excuse me?
I would say an order in this room.
Yes, we can follow Robert's Rules of Order, I understand. Is that a yes, sir?
Yes, sir,
Thank you.
but there will be order in this room.
I agree. If people like what I have to say, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have been a stand-up comic, what I'm seeing here. Sir, somebody's gonna do something. I'm 71, married 49 years. How much time do I have? You know how many young people are here that got an FHA loan to get their first home? And yes, I've had my banking license for 40 years. How are they gonna get a loan? You write something on your docket that you go to another page to find out, you tell us nothing more than FHA has no money. Okay, great. What are you gonna do about FHA? Nothing. That's by Congress. Only a continuing resolution can give money to Congress, unless you got some kind of magic wand. Where's the money? How are these people these young people who put maybe 3.5% down on the FHA loan, how are they going to fix their homes? Somebody got an answer for that? Is that my cue? I know it's not you. I get it. It's not you. But then who is it? Thank you for your time.
Andy Streeter.
Hi, everybody.
What's your name again?
My name is Laurie Streeter. I'm at 870 Pine Needles Road. So I live in the Highlands, like everyone else here. It's been speaking so far. It's been over 2 weeks since the potential tropical cyclone number 8 destroyed our homes. Most of our homes are currently uninhabitable. We've had no help from the city, the government, and no FEMA declaration to help us. We've relied on the support of neighbors, churches, Red Cross, and have otherwise been abandoned and left to fend for ourselves. If this development was built on wetlands that did not perk, and there's no retention pond to help with any excess water, how did this development ever get approved? That is beyond. How is it, this was an interesting thing, how is it that we had a real estate selling agent for Logan Homes who was also on the city council at the time? You know who I'm talking about. I'm not naming names. That seems a little. Say the name, Tom.
Tom Guzulaitis.
Order in this room, please. We have a speaker. We're going to listen to the speaker.
Thank you. So can somebody explain to me why the city would allow this to happen? It seems like a bit of a conflict, but I will leave it there. Now, people have been complaining about the issues with the drainage and the ditches ever since we moved in. Yet here we are, well over 2 years later, no one has taken responsibility for management of said ditches. And while this weather event was unexpected and rare, I have no doubt that because of the unethical and irresponsible practices, our damages are far greater than they ever could have been as a result. This city has failed us by making decisions that contributed to us being in this mess.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to help us? And how will we be protected in the future from more devastating floods? Not if, but when this happens again. I had 2.5 feet of water outside every square inch of the outside of my home. I had a $13,000 generator that got fried. I had 8 inches of water in my house. This changed everybody's lives. We are all in this similar situation here, and I beg you, please, please urgently put this at the top of the priority list to help get things right, because we were wronged. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Barbara Reynolds.
Good evening. I am Barbara V. Reynolds, and I live on South Shore Drive. And I do say that my heart goes out to what I've been hearing this evening, because we lost our home in Florence in 2018. Totally lost it, 6 feet of water, etc. We were away for 5.5 months, going back every day, the looting, everything, nothing was getting done. So my husband and I decided to move back home, and we found one old salty contractor who lived up to what he said. And we lived behind plastic so we could keep an eye and we could work on the situation. And where my heart goes out to these folks is, one day after 5.5 months, the contractors are inside, and I decided that I was going to start cleaning up the outside. My husband had stroke, so he could not. I called the township to see about the culvert under the road. The storm debris was clogged in there, and it was pushing and eroding the property line. Public Works did come out, and I was there in overalls and my good old rubber boots, and he said, "No, ma'am, that's the property owner's responsibility." So I was told that, and I'm really so surprised that these good folks weren't told that, okay, when they purchased their homes. And with that being said, the one side was cleared out, and I went down myself 550 feet and cleared between both properties, my property and the budding property. On the other side, I had to have somebody from the outside come in and put a 5-foot drainage ditch, 550 feet from South Shore, because the property takes 125% of the road rain. The people across the street, floods, and the natural 100% that comes off. That 5-foot drainage ditch on the opposing side of our property helped immensely. But again, that came out of our pocketbook. Where I'm going with this, since we've lived here for 20 years and in Brunswick County for 32, never once has the town reached out in any regard. I also want to say that with the flood situation that keeps occurring, I'm sure people are panicking now, because once you live through a flood, it's just a natural process. And Nicole, you were great at easing that back then. You and Miss Beck, I will say. But I want to get back to it that my heart goes out. There has been so much, and I'm going to use the term pork spending in this town, because I've been told since we lived here that water management and water removal has been going on. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Aggressive water management brings an engineer in and lays a floor plan on the most egregious parts of this city that flood, and they lay a plan. I have never seen that, Mayor Jeff, never. And I've been in this address for 20 years, and the same people are coming to the podium complaining about standing water and being told it's being taken care of. When that gentleman left our property in 2019 and said, oh, it's up to the homeowner, I said, but sir, he said, we're working interiorly to take care of standing water. Can I ask what the roadmap was to take care of that standing water, to move water away? What was it in our area? I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate. I have 2 lowland ditches. When you drive to South Carolina in the low country, you see these massive ditches for water to run. So now I can walk in my property or get heavy rains and there's no standing water. But God bless the people that don't know and that purchase properties, unbeknownst to them, that this is a wetlands area. If it's not wet, it's root bound. And people need to be educated, not deceived. Not deceived. We have a new fire department. We have a new police department. We have a new bus that runs people to the community center for lunches. We also purchased a new clubhouse. We're told that it's going to be turned into a park on South Shore Drive, which aids the existing new clubhouse so their sewer can run into the old clubhouse. What's that all about? Thank you.
Excuse me,
No,
I have
sir.
a point of order.
No, sir. Linda,
No, sir.
Linda.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for letting me have a few words here. My name is Linda Natoli. I live on East Boiling Spring Road, right behind the detour. I spoke here once before concerning the detour. I also spoke at the Board of Commissioners recently, and we were called liars by Pat Sykes, Commissioner, to our faces. And you all could go look at the things, public knowledge. You could just look it up. So on that accord, I'd just like to go on again, because like I told them, I'm not going to stop. Our lives are at risk here. They are seriously at risk. This detour is dangerous.
Yes.
The 6 minutes, I don't want my face burned in 6 minutes. I don't think any of you all do. I don't think you want to lose a mom, a dad, even a dog. Come on, guys. Let's get this together. How long is this detour going to go on? I know you can't answer questions. I'm not here for answers. Just bringing this up again, because like I told you, a brain dies in 6 minutes. I'm a registered nurse. We don't have 6 minutes going around the detour. Also, at the commissioners' meeting, Commissioner Cook said that we were only expecting 3 to 4 inches of rain, as we all were. We went about our day thinking it was just drizzling, you know. We got 20. So with that in mind, who's in charge of the dam? Y'all probably would have just lowered it thinking we had 3 to 4 inches of rain coming. Lo and behold, we had 20. So all the people behind me would be dead. We'd be a blip on a news screen. Oh, look, Boiling Spring got washed out because the dam breached. You all need to be aware of this. I don't care you want to call it climate change, I don't care what you call it, it's dangerous. And I'm not sure that, knowing what you guys are doing right now, that you should be in charge of a dam or our lives or our detours. Right now, you're clear cutting just about everything out there. There's swampland. The guy behind me was allowed to clear cut everything, so I got flooded. I guess to the highest bidder goes all our trees and our wetlands and everything like that are not maintained. Also, our roads are so congested, we can't get to work. Doctors, school, small businesses are suffering. Our kids can't go to school. I can't make a left to come home. After I go to CVS to pick up a prescription, it takes me 3 hours. Someone make this make sense. I don't understand. Also, the people of Highlands, why was there no shelter set up for these people? Why were they just left there?
Yeah.
I asked that, like, really, as a human being, how could you not open a shelter? Open the school, help them. They had nothing. They were out in the street. I drove down there days later, and my heart broke. Also, listening to them over and over again, and then to hear them be called a liar by Pat Sykes was just ridiculous. I never heard anything like that in my life. But I just want to say to my people behind me, sometimes you don't have to drain the swamp to see what's going on. Sometimes we have to flood it.
Ann Gregory. I've lived in BSL for about 12 years. I actually live on the Indian Reservation, which I'm sure some of you are very familiar with. We still have houses underwater this deep. The issue is, it's very simple, guys. Stop overdeveloping Brunswick County. You gotta stop it. You gotta put a moratorium on it. They say it has to be a safety issue. A house burns to the ground because you can't get to it. You call 911, they call you back an hour later, won't know what your emergency is. Thank you, I'm not dead. You stand on 133 and you watch a road fall in and you can't get anybody to come block it off because nobody wants to take responsibility. It's getting dark, folks. I went home and got my umbrella poles and hung them into the ground and ran tape across it because at least if somebody fell in, it wasn't going to be on my conscience. We have got to stop the development that's going on in this county until you get developments like the Highlands. They should have never been approved. I'm not an engineer, and I know that.
That's right.
I mean, you've got to get control of the development that's going on in this country, and you're agreeing with me. And if you don't stop it, this mess is going to continue. I was here in Florence. It was the same thing. The same roads that flooded in Florence flooded in the cyclone. I got a car. I just got out of the driveway yesterday. You got to stop it. It's just that simple. Stop overdevelopment in Brunswick County and in BSL and get it under control, then move forward. We have no infrastructure. Everybody up here knows it. Or it's not going to change. We're going to be back next year, next year, next year. It's just that simple, guys.
Hey, point of order, sir.
I'm going through this list to let everybody speak.
You're denying me a point of order.
I'm letting everybody speak who's after you. You've already had your turn to speak. I'm going down this list and letting people speak.
And there's a solution
Joe
to this problem.
Kitty.
Joan Kinney, 793 South Shore Drive. This will be just short and sweet. I had someone at the community center ask me if I knew how they could find someone who would be interested in some new furniture that they have. And I told her that I was coming to the meeting. She has a almost new sofa bed and some other furniture. And I know I have an armoire. If anybody is interested, they can talk to me after the meeting.
Barbara Umsetter.
I'm Barbara Ummensetter, and I live at 881 Westway Road in the Highlands, and our house also was flooded. We were also told that we did not need to have insurance because we were Zone X, a 1% chance of flooding. Tonight I'm here because I want to know who's going to take accountability. I want to know what the timeline was of contacting our governor for FEMA, and where is our disaster management program in this city? And if this was your house in your community, I want to know how quickly it would have been taken care of. Because I don't believe that any one of you came out and around beside Mr. Hargrove, came out 3 days later to reprimand me and another group of girls for mis or disinformation, which was incorrect. And we had just had a disaster in our home and flooding. I think it was pretty well inappropriate for what we were going through. And I want to know what you all are going to be doing about it. When are we supposed to get answers to the questions that we are all here tonight asking? When do we get answers?
Manager will address some of them later on.
So Logan Holmes says that it is the city of Boiling Springs that is responsible for the flooding in our community. And the Boiling Springs City says that it's Logan Holmes. Our HOA has also said that it's a city of Boiling Springs. Yes, it is. So we would like to know the answer to that. Who is responsible? And when are we going to get answers? Do we have anything from FEMA? we all had to come together and talk with each other and find out information because we had nobody that was in leadership in this city that was giving us any information of what we could do, where we could go, or where we could turn. And tonight, I know that in the upstate of, or in eastern North Carolina, they've gone through a lot. But when you address them first over your own city and the devastation that your own people here are dealing with, it seems like it's very disrespectful of your tax-paying citizens and focus on your city. And I also want to know why it's taken 6 years for the dam to be redone.
Yeah.
You have so much negligence, on your hands. Look at the fires that we've had. Houses have burned to the ground. Are you human? I mean, because I feel like there is no caring here. I don't know how many of you actually walked down our street, met with each one of us, and asked us if we were okay, or went to any other area in this city and asked them, or talked to anybody else that had flooded. I know that we weren't the only area that has. When are these projects are going to be done? Why are we wasting money on such things as a bus when we need a stoplight at 50 Lakes Road? If you're trying to pull out of there, how many deaths do we need? Is there a number, just like FEMA has to have a certain number before they'll come in and give us help, because it's all a numbers game? How many numbers of deaths or accidents do we need at 50 Lakes Road before you all will do something about a stoplight there? We have children coming from the high school that are just learning to drive. We have a huge community. Infrastructure is very, very important. Why do we need a bus? Do we not know how to budget within our community or within our city? Is there an issue or a problem with that? Because I know every household has a budget and you have to follow it. If you don't have the money, you don't buy it. You think what your priorities are, you go with your priorities. A bus wasn't a priority. Explain to me why. Isn't the dam a priority? Yeah. I mean, there's people that live on the other side of it. So we want to know, when are our questions going to be answered? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my time up because I have a personal problem that I'll handle directly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Shannon Van Buren.
Hello.
I'm going to divert away from the Highlands since we've heard a lot of that, although it is very indeed sad, and some of this might well filter into that. First question is, as we're talking about these meetings and looking at what's coming on the agenda, one thing I can't find here in this town, where are our policies and procedures? Do we have governance documents? Do we have bylaws that dictate how you perform, what your responsibilities are, what the hierarchy is, who reports to who here, how we can behave in a meeting, what the expectation is when you hear from the citizens, what you do with our questions, what you do with our comments? I talk every time. I never hear from anybody. I talk every time because I'm willing during the week to do the homework to study what you've done for months and years past that are buried, frankly, in the bowels of your website. So is there a document that says what you're supposed to do when we're taking the time to study this town that we live in, that we have money invested in? And how do you intend to respond to those? Beyond that, I would say, again, I say it every time, the Citizens Forum, we know you don't answer us when we're here. That's the expectation, that we will come, express our opinions, ask our questions, and that we won't get any feedback. And it turns out we don't ever get any feedback. The Citizens Forum, however, which you give us only once every quarter, when we can have a volley of dialogue. Do we matter? A volley of dialogue tells us we matter because you hear us, you either echo us, or you have a response for us, or you study to find that response and deliver it to us subsequently. The Citizen Forum Quarterly is inadequate for this town. You are making big decisions. You are spending big money. You are doing things that impact all of us that have our homes here, whether we are longtime. I am not a longtime resident here, only 3 years. Big decisions are being made, big dollars are being spent. We don't get to know about it. You know why? Because you're making the decisions and you come to these meetings on every first Tuesday and you tell us what you chose to spend the money on. We don't get to be a part of that. Is there any structure in a family? We say, if you're gonna spend over X amount of dollars, we talk about it and we discuss it. I can't come home with a new car. Jeff can't come home with a new car. What's your threshold of spending that you involve those of us that pay? You're bad. We're paying into this community. Do we have any say? I think we should. And if we don't have that threshold, I would compel you to develop that because we should be a part of what money is spent on. I've heard comments about the bus. I find that terribly frustrating. I know we don't have a ditch maintenance plan. City manager told us that a couple months ago when I asked who knew we could have a storm that was going to come and threaten that. Your meeting notices, terrible. I heard one of the gentlemen talk about the website being inadequate. That is not a resource information transfer site at all. Things are very difficult to find there. Not everybody is going to invest the time to find what's happening in the bowels of your website. Can we be forthcoming to the citizens here? I write a summary every time after the BOC meeting because you know why? You won't. So I write it with no emotion. You will never hear emotion from me. Say anything derogatory about what I've heard. There is never an ounce of emotion in what I write, but I think this town needs to hear what's happening here. And if it has to be me, then it'll be me. They deserve you to do that. You're in this place. Now, I would like to address the lady who brought up no storm management survey. Actually, if you're willing to dig in the bowels of our website, we had a storm survey done in 2021 by a company called Suncoast. They did the storm management plan. The board at that time approved it 5-0, January 22nd of 2022. You know how I know that? Because I dug. It's been done. You're calling for it, but it's done. But why aren't we saying, ma'am, we've done that? We just didn't execute it. In fact, did you also know we got a $250,000 grant to pay that? You know what? The constituents make up this city. Let me move on to another thing that I discovered that was not very well known. And I did this because I can't understand what's happening on 87 with all this clear cutting. I live on Pine Lake Road. It's almost getting to the point that we can see through the trees. So in doing that, I found that y'all had a special call planning board on July 19th. And on that call, I discovered that 2 men proposed a text amendment that would allow undeveloped parcels of 25 or more acres to have trees removed before plan approval. I have trees in my yard that are threatening my house if they sway any harder than they already are. I'm from Detroit. I have never seen trees go side to side like they do in this state. But I can't take those down.
It's fine, you do.
2 people controlling the town discussions. A board member asks, why was this brought to the special meeting instead of to the regular meeting? These gentlemen respond, well, we are hoping to entice grocery stores. Are 2 men controlling our town or are you? With us or without us is the question.
Bruce, Bernie?
Hello, my name's Bruce Veronic. I live at 987 North Shore Drive, right across the street from the North Lake Dam. We've had USDA come in for embankment replenishment because of storms. I just want to know, are we going to get them back to fix all the roads and drainage problems that we have? Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy Sausenberger? Tammy?
Sorry, my hearing's not as good as it used to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Tammy Sullenberger, I live on Black Hawk Road. Are you allowed to answer, when is the Citizens Forum? Can I ask Joan? When is it? 14th? Yes. Okay, 14th of the month, I guess.
Why aren't they answering it?
Okay. Because I'm not allowed to. I'm sorry, I'm addressing you, not them.
Who says so?
Once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, Connecticut, we had an issue in our town with somebody wanting to build on what's called a wetlands buffer zone. I don't know if we have that here in Boiling Spring Lakes, or if we have, or state of North Carolina County. But in my opinion, it would be best if we not build on the wetlands. Can we get zoning to prevent that from happening in the future?
I'll address that.
You know, Kim's talking without talking. She's just making faces at me.
I'll address that later.
And I hate to say this, but if my real estate agent told me that I couldn't, didn't need flood insurance, I would not believe them. I'm not a very trusting person. Commissioners, I know three of you. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I don't know you personally, but I know that your heart is with these people. There's nothing that you can do or say right now in this situation, but I know that your heart is with them, and I know that you will do what you can for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, someone did come in late and requested that it be added to the end of the list, and it was too late. His name is Mr. Easley. Is that okay that he be added?
Yes.
Mr. Easley?
This is gonna be short and sweet. My wife and I moved in about a year ago. We lived in several subdivisions, and I've never known a lot of my neighbors, but as far as this group of people go, I've never met a better group of people.
Could you say your address, please?
931 Westway Road. We're all in the same boat. I've had several conversations with higher-ups, I guess you would say. Mr. Hargrove, I had a conversation with him. And with all due respect, he said, I can relate, you know, I had wind damage. Well, if you've never been flooded, you know, you can't relate. I've been through a tornado as well. Not even close. It seems like a pretty simple problem. Now, as far as the solution, I'm not an engineer. Seems like a decent engineer could fix this pretty quickly.
You gotta get a good one.
But it's just frustrating to not have a lot of questions and nobody has the answer. Everybody's passing the buck. You know, it's Logan's fault. It's the city's fault. Logan, after they built the houses on West Wade Road, they went behind us and built another row of houses, and they built them all up. What does that tell you? They knew they screwed up, but they're holding no responsibility. So everybody's $50,000 average, you know, out of pocket. How are we going to fix that? How are we going to do something about that? Is there a plan? Has there been anything talked about? Is there anybody working on anything?
I'll address some things later. It's my time to talk.
Okay, that's what I keep hearing. Everybody keeps saying, oh, we're working on it, we're working on it, we're working on it.
We're tired of hearing it.
And I've spent.
Sir, I have a point of order.
I've spent a couple of minutes. I would like to let Jerry finish if he could, and I'm quite sure that everybody here.
Thank you, sir. Not as fast as I used to be. But the right hook is still pretty good. All right. I was the general foreman on the Meadowlands job in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It is built on a swamp. I want to know And if you can't answer, write it down. Do you know what a screw pump is? If you don't, please look it up. There are 13 screw pumps in the Meadowlands that control an ungodly amount of water. If they weren't there, cars would float after every game. These screw pumps control the level of water. There's 13 of them that are 13 inches, 13 feet in diameter. You need maybe 3. I built this place, so I know. Now, I'm no engineer. Maybe you need 4. But if we put screw pumps, because we're above sea level, your water problem is solved. You need me to tell you that? I'm serious. Just look it up and say to yourself, this stuttering guy knew what he was talking about. It's all you need. Thank you for the extra time.
Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, committee and board reports, DSL Fire and Rescue.
Good evening. Month of September, we had a number of calls, 74. Of those 74, 58 were fire, 16 EMS. Somewhere in the neighborhood, 45 or more, all related to the storm, including a house fire. For the month of October, we've got on October the 12th, a barbecue, 11 to 3. We'll be participating in the haunted house, which is here at the city on the 19th. On the 26th at the church, Baptist Church here, the Fall Festival, we'll be involved with that. And also the trunk or treat at the city community center on the 31st. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody from the community, Greg?
We had me.
Okay. Planning board? None. Parks and Rec Advisory Board?
Most of them, they were on the
Just checking through the list.
Yeah.
Special events?
Good evening. Our committee met on Thursday night at the community center for a rescheduled September meeting. We discussed our fall festival, which will be held on Saturday, October 19th from 5 to 8 on the grounds of the community center. Our haunted trail will begin at dusk. Be prepared to get scared. We have people calling now, so we're getting more scenes. Our fire department will be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs to purchase. We also discussed we need new T-shirts, and we do have it in our budget. So we're going to get a couple of new T-shirts. Please pass the word around town for a fun fall festival. We all deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission? Grants Committee?
Good evening. The Grants Committee met last month. Our application to the Defense Community Infrastructure Program, the DCIP, gave us a grant opportunity for road paving to improve mission critical / emergency response times for BOTSU employees and citizens. The grant application was submitted, but we were not invited to move to the next step. The sewer expansion project, City Manager Gordon gave us a talk about how the potential grants for the sewer expansion project and requested that the committee research for funds for this important project. And lastly, we still have one open seat on the committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you call for the library commission?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't
That's
hear
fine.
you.
Go ahead.
Make some
someone else do this next time. We had Library Commission had canceled their September regular meeting because most of the people were going to be out of town that week. We scheduled a workshop for September 26th, which they also canceled because of the flooding in City Hall. When City Hall flooded, somebody, I don't know who it was, took all the books off the bottom shelves and just got them up so that they wouldn't be damaged by the water. Whomever did that, please thank them for us. September 19 and 20, 4 of us who were able to be here packed up books and moved them into storage. And we look forward to getting our library back just as soon as possible. Ongoing, we'll stock the new the library as soon as we can. And we will continue to check the books for mold and mildew until we can get them back out again. And our next meeting is Thursday, October 10th at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to read from some prepared statements so that I don't miss anything. First of all, our staff worked very hard during the storm. Most of them live in this community. They suffered some of the same devastating effects that you did to their homes. They had to leave their families behind, yet they still answered the bell. I want to thank them all for their response. Public Services Superintendent Aaron Harwood and his team, Chief Kevin Smith and his team in the police department, Assistant City Manager Nicole Morgan and her team in planning and zoning, Pamela Bellina, Executive Assistant, Nancy Sims, and Brandon Stevens of the administrative staff. They all went above and beyond the call of duty, and for that, I am very much appreciative. I'm very proud of how they responded. I'd like to talk a little bit about the dams update. The good news is that all permanent work associated with the dam's construction is still intact. The bad news is that the temporary work needed to install the permanent work has all been washed away. It's no longer there. This includes the cofferdams, water control bypasses, and dewatering systems at North Lake, Pine Lake, and Sanford Dam. Obviously, with the amount of destruction that we have had, the completion dates have changed. Anticipated completion of North Lake and Pine Lake and the opening of East Bowling Spring Road is set to be in early spring. Of course, that's contingent on the weather because we're not out of hurricane season yet. Sanford Dam was ahead of schedule. The project has lost time to Tropical Storm Debbie and potential tropical cyclone number 8. It is no longer ahead of schedule. A new project schedule has been generated. An expected completion date will be May of 2027. This is 10 months later than Sanford Dam's original Please let me finish. Please. This isn't my call. I'm giving you the information. Please respect when I'm speaking. Order. That is 10 months later than Sanford Dam's original completion date, which was July of 2026. Due to potential tropical cyclone number 8, we have suffered extensive damage to the tune of almost $10 million, which FEMA will participate in recovering those costs. The Sanford Dam excavation site is still currently underwater, and we are still adding to those damage assessments. I want to talk to you a moment about the stormwater and drainage issues. We had approximately 22 inches of rain that fell in less than 24 hours. The last 18 inches of this rainfall fell in just a few hours and flooded our city. It was a citywide event, It wasn't specific to one area. It impacted all areas of our city. In fact, as one of us earlier speakers said, the city still has several areas that are inundated with water, and the city is still actively pumping and will continue to do so for the next week. We had over 12 roads damaged during the storm. Some of these were complete collapses, while others were partially collapsed. Several of these roadways were main arteries moving through the city. BSL wasn't the only one. A four-county area experienced devastating flooding. Flooding has been an issue in this area since the city started. This is nothing new. The city sits at approximately 48 to 60 feet above sea level. Our topography is relatively flat, and everything inland drains to this region. I know a lot of folks are frustrated with the city's response to their individual situations, but priority number one for city staff is to ensure public safety for the entire community. All resources and manpower was deployed to maintain safety during the storm and to shore up critical road infrastructure so emergency services would be able to access the city and residents could return home. Could we have done better? Yes. Absolutely. Even if we coordinated a perfect response, we can always strive to be better. When this event is over, the city will have a debriefing and talk about lessons learned to determine how we can be better.
Stop moving the building here.
And yes, we will invite members of the community to be a part of this conversation. However, I want everybody to understand, if we get another 1,000-year storm, we're going to flood again. While technically some of us don't live in a floodplain, we are all susceptible to flooding due to our topography. Flooding is going to happen no matter how much money we throw at it. Can we make it better? Yes, but we can't prevent it. At the end of the day, well, that's right, at the end of the day, you have to ask a question. What level of service are you willing to pay for? Because to fix these problems, we have to have resources. I've heard many times mentioned tonight that hiring an engineer is a good idea. Well, you know, we're ahead of you on that. We've spoken with city council about this and recommended in the next budget season the hiring of a civil engineer to help us with this. That takes resources. I'm not going to speak anymore if I'm going to continue to be interrupted.
You've got to understand, you got a bunch of pissed off taxpayers.
I get that, but if you'll let me finish speaking.
I didn't interrupt you.
We got to have some order in this room. Because you'll never find out any answer if you keep interrupting
We don't
somebody.
find out any answer. What's the problem?
This is Tony, my answer. Just let him speak.
I want everybody to understand that the Sungage Stormwater Plan is just that. It's a plan. In order to enact that plan, we have to have the engineering behind it. Engineering costs money. We have to have resources in this community to do our job. Our resources are...
Again, I'm going to call for order in this room or I'm going to clear it out. If you want to find out answers, listen. That's all I'm asking. I mean, we have meetings here every month, and I don't see hardly anybody here coming to these meetings to hear anything that goes on, and a lot of this has been talked about, a lot of it. But the manager's speaking, he's trying to give y'all some answers, but everybody's being rude and not listening. So please, show a little bit of respect to each other. We do respect y'all. I'll address some of the other things later. Mr. Manager, would you finish?
Yeah, I'm done.
Good.
All right.
Are we allowed to ask?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
So Robert's Rules of Order don't really...
I'm calling order in this room.
You guys did not want to listen to what Manager Hargrove had to say, so we're going to move forward. Maybe next time we can have a little bit of kindness and compassion for our fellow constituents, and we can move from there.
You work for us.
Yeah.
And we're trying to work for y'all. But,
I believe it.
all right, I adjourn the meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion by Commissioner